Throughout the 1800s, the order struggled to retain its fading grasp on life. In a world on the verge of our modern one, its ideals and traditions seemed like quaint and antique concepts. Without land or purpose, the order found itself searching for a place to regroup. It settled finally in Rome in 1834, the most natural of places for an order of the Catholic faith. Once again, it faced an uncertain future. It was not until the second half of the 19th century that the Knights finally began to recover their purpose and reforge a new, more noble order, one that had returned more fully to its roots of service to the sick and the poor. By the turn of the 20th century, it began to reemerge as an organization unique in modern or ancient times, a sovereign nation, the sole purpose of which was the protection of the sick and the poor. They are perhaps the only sovereign state in the world without a country, yet they issue passports, stamps, and coins. The order maintains diplomatic relations with more than 89 nations. Grandmaster Fra Andrew Bertie, the first English Grandmaster of the order in its history, believes that Gerard's vision must remain the essential purpose of today's Knights.
During its 900 years of existence, we hope that we've been able to help the poor and the sick, which is what we were founded for, and is what we are doing today, and what we hope to go on doing, perhaps for another 900 years. I don't know if we'll manage it. At the moment, we have works in about over 100 countries. That's hospitals, clinics, leprosaria, schools, and first aid corps, and work like that. We are, I hope, a little more than just an ordinary first aid corps. We want to be compassionate. When we take people on a pilgrimage, for instance, we try and keep up with them when they come back. And so that's our mission in this world, and what I hope that we will do.
Despite the richness of its annual ceremonies and the millions of dollars it raises for its charitable activities, the order itself is poor. Each knight and dame who serves supports him or herself, just as the first knights of the order did.
We have an enormous variety of work because we do very little centrally, and every unit, whether it's an association or a priory, has to find out what is needed in the area, and they are responsible for the financing and the management of whatever they do. They are entirely run individually. And therefore, people often ask me, oh, how much are you worth? How much do you give to the sick each year? And I say, look, I don't know. And they think I'm a liar. But a lot of these statistics do not come through our books.
More than 11,000 knights and dames of the order around the world provide fundraising, financial, and personal support for much of the order's work, with the help of tens of thousands of volunteers and affiliates throughout dozens of countries. Even young people are drawn to the values and ideals of the order. Whether these volunteers serve a few hours a month or every day for the rest of their lives, they carry on the legend that began so long ago in Jerusalem.
I always tell our people that it's up to them to see in the faces of the people they help the face of our Lord, because that is their vocation.
For many of us, the Order of Malta is invisible. Yet we might be surprised to realize that some of our friends or neighbors are members of one of the world's oldest orders of chivalry. Joe Pierce, a jeweler from California, serves in his parish every day and aids in raising funds to support the order's work around the world. He doesn't carry a shield or a sword, but he does wear the 8-pointed Maltese cross, the sign of a Knight of St. John. and he shares the same sense of justice and devotion that moved the knights of centuries ago.
The oath that we take as a knight is to fight evil and to defend the weak, which has been a pledge from the time of the Crusades to the present time. The future is going to be back in Malta now. The Maltese government gave the knights old Fort St. Angelo. This is the new adventure that we'll be going into that I myself hope to be part of.
We will be using part of the Fort of St. Angelo to have meetings of our presidents or religious exercises or places where people who want to study the history of the order can come and stay. And we might be able eventually to make it a center where we could store material, medicines, medical equipment, water purifiers, so as to be ready to help in any case of a disaster within the Mediterranean area.
Each generation passes to the next its own sense of justice, faith, and honor, and what is right and noble. And each generation reshapes that dream into its own vision of the future. Time has ensured the knights a place in history, and only time will tell how long the ideals that founded them can continue to stir the hearts of others, and how well each succeeding generation can uphold the dream that has been handed to them. We can only hope that 900 years from now, there will still be men and women of such devotion as those who, throughout history, have been known as the Knights of St. John.